in my Crafting With Me series. What this series is all about is me teaching you crafts that I love to do. There's a multitude of hobbies and crafts that I like doing, and so I thought I would just bring you guys along with me. Today I'm going to be working on some jewelry making. This is a hobby I actually picked up from my grandma and my great aunt. They would always take my sister and I to different bead fairs and different jewelry making classes, and my grandma actually gave all of the granddaughters our own jewelry making set, and so that is kind of what got me started with jewelry making, and I think it's just kind of a fun hobby and obviously a way to get unique pieces that you can wear and have a little story behind. Today what I'm going to be working on is making flowers made out of beads and turning them into earrings. This flower design you can do for any sort of accessory, whether that be bracelets, necklaces. Like I said, I'm going to be doing earrings, and so I'm going to show you how to make it, and then obviously feel free to try it out, do whatever you want to do with the pattern, and hopefully you try it out and test it for yourself. So today all we'll need is the beads, string, and then whatever clasps you're going to be using the jewelry for. So clasps for either a bracelet or necklace. Today I have earring backs, and that's what I'll be putting my bead design on. So I have all of my supplies set up. Here are the earring backs. As you can see, it's just an earring post with the hook where you'll add the design to. We have our beads for the outer petals and then the inner rim. I already cut my string, and my recommendation for the string is to always cut yourself more than you think you'll need, just because you can't add on more string, but you can always cut off any extra strands that you have. I do have an image just showing the pattern that we're going to be using for the flower design, and so I'll be sure to attach that just so you guys can use it and reference it as well. For my specific design, I'm going to be doing one flower, but once we get to the end, I'll show you that once you finish one flower design, you just start with the exact same pattern starting in the next flower. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our string, and I'm going to loop it through the little bottom post, making sure the string is even. You need two strands that you can add beads to, and so what I did is I did one very long string, and then I'm going to fold it in half with that post. Okay, now we're going to start our flower with our first bead, which is going to go through crisscross between both strands. So we put it on the first strand, and then we put that second strand going the opposite way through. And there's the first bead of our petal. Next, we're going to add 3 beads to each strand. Just like we did with our first bead, we're going to put our first center bead, and we're going to crisscross it through both strings. There's the first petal, and this flower is going to have 6 of them. We add 2 beads, 1 to each strand of the inner color. And now we're going to work on the 2 side petals, adding 7 beads to each side. Okay, now that we have 7 beads on each side, what we're going to do is start the loop. And so how we're going to do the loop is we're going to put it through 1 petal bead from the last petal, and then through one of the center beads. So 1 through the blue, and then through the white, and you'll see we have our next petal. Same thing on the other side now. Now we have our 3rd petal, and since we're making 6 petals, this is obviously the halfway point, and so everything that we're doing from this point on is mirroring what we've already done. So since we're mirroring what we've already done, the first thing that we're going to do is add 2 more white beads and then 7 more blue beads for 2 more petals. Now that we have the beads for 2 more petals, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to loop it through 1 blue and then 1 white bead. So now we just have 1 last petal, so we're going to add 1 more white bead, and we're going to crisscross the strand so that we can close that inner circle and add the last petal. So now for our last petal, what we're going to do is we're going to loop the string through 2 blue beads on each side, and then we're going to add 2 beads on each side. For our final bead, just to bring that petal together, we're going to do 1 last bead, and we're going to crisscross our strands so that they come together. So once you're at this point, this is where you can either start a new one by just continuing with your 2 strands, but I am going to just have this be 1 flower for the earring, and so this is what my earring is going to look like. I'll close it off on the end, and then we'll start on the next one. So now that our second earring is done, what we're gonna do is close it. And I wanted to show you guys how to close it specifically when you have a free hanging design like this. Obviously, if you're doing a bracelet or a necklace, you'll tie this to the clasp or to the ring that you're ending on. But since we're gonna be free hanging our beads, what I did is I tied it and then secured it with just a drop of super glue. Since this string is obviously stretchy, it does kind of wiggle in its shape. And so how I'm gonna end this is you're gonna cross your strings, tuck it under as if you were just doing a regular cross, and then do it one more time. Pull that all the way down and pull it really tight. And then you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna switch the way that you do your strings. So if you started on the right string, you're gonna now go over to the left string. Wrap it under twice and then pull it super tight. Just because I don't want to be wearing my earrings and have all the beads fall out. Now that I've done this tie, I'm gonna cut the remainder of the string and then I'm gonna add just a drop of super glue. Okay, now that that's on, we'll go ahead and just let it dry for a second. Okay, now that the super glue is dried, I'm gonna try them on. I think they're really cute. Okay, so these are the earrings. I hope you guys try out and make something with this design. I think it'd be really fun for all sorts of really colorful, cute little accessories to add into your collection. You'd even probably do this as like a fun bag charm or just anything that, you know, you normally would accessorize. And so I hope that this was fun for you, and thanks for joining for my second crafting video. Let me know if you guys end up trying to make this on your own, and if you do, what you end up making.